After another big opening weekend, we are Popcorn and Beers, where some use tomatoes and others use thumbs. We use the stuff that gets you drunk. So we had a car-filled viewing experience for our Butter on Top and our Drunk Classic. There were lots of cars, lots of fast cars, lots of fancy cars, lots of leased cars, lots of wrecked cars. Only some cars with ostriches in them, however.
CG cars, lots of those.
Wait till we get that Butter on Top. I got a lot to say about CG. So anyway, we want to start where we usually start. We're trying to shrink it down just so the audience knows and what we were watching. So we're not just pounding you with what we were watching. We love getting you in on some of the more ancillary projects that are going on. So we fill you in on absolutely everything we can, right? But there's so much. It's sensory overload right now. And also some of the shows on Apple Plus and Disney Plus, they run weekly. So we kind of have to wait till they're over so we can talk about them. Like, we've got Succession in the pipe. We've got Barry in the pipe. We've got all these really big shows, but they go week to week, so we can't talk about them. So let's start with you, Jordan, and what you were actually watching this week.
All right, so I started this week watching an odd little British artsy comedy film. It's like, what's that same studio that you mentioned last week? Searchlight, Spotlight?
Oh, yeah, Fox Searchlight Pictures.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's produced by them. It's on Amazon Prime. Very awkward, dry humor style. It's kind of like a mockumentary about a lonely inventor guy who decides to build himself an AI robot friend.
You okay? Was that your Tourette's?
No, my light
AI robot friend.
Yeah. Perfect timing too. The light attacked him right when he said AI robot. The light went right at him.
He makes this friend out of miscellaneous junk. The robot looks completely ridiculous, and the poor inventor guy that makes him is so lame. The robot's sick of him after what seems like a few days, and it's just like,
I now heard in the production meeting. I know I needed to deal what movie we're talking about. Now, as you're describing it, I've actually seen the trailer for this movie.
Yeah, it's really, really weird, and I guess it's not as funny as I thought it'd be, but it's it's an endearing movie if you just want some good-hearted, friendly vibes. Just you get some light laughs out of it. The real overarching conflict of the movie is really dumb, but it ends even hilariously dumber. So I'll throw that out there. So if you just want a good, really stupid ending to a movie, check that one out. I give it a popcorn.
Okay, all right, a popcorn for Brian and Charles.
Charles.
That's funny because that's almost exactly how he sounds.
That's funny.
And then, so next I got to watching, 80 for Brady.
Painful.
Yeah, it was the old Mother's Day watch. It's what Mom wanted to watch. So shout out to you for getting me through that movie. It's an old lady sports comedy centered around Tom Brady, everyone's favorite football players, American sports figure, right? We all love Tom Brady. He needed a movie made about him. Jane Fonda is 85, in this movie, but she looks great for being 85 years old. I mean, no offense to the other ladies in the movie, but I mean, they kind of look their age, but she looks fantastic. There's some non-Tom Brady, non-Patriots related hijinks. That's okay, And there's a fantastic Mark Rebillet Rebillet cameo. If you know about this guy. Yeah, he's a musical genius. Look him up. Look him up. He's fantastic. Some other just great cameos sprinkled in there. I give this one a popcorn as well.
Another popcorn. Did you want to give it a popcorn, or that's just our rating system?
No, it was a popcorn. It was
okay. It was watchable.
Yeah.
The ladies are all great actors, and I'm sure some of the dialogue was chucklers. At least here and there, right?
Yeah, it's just straight old lady humor. Like it's just every joke is just about how they're a bunch of old ladies, and this is uncomfortable for them.
I'm sure there's a scene where she gets high.
Yeah,
someone
exactly.
gets high.
Yes.
Yeah. Called it.
And madness ensues.
And then the next scene is, okay, we're never doing that again. right?
Yeah.
And there's a scene where they all think about their relationship status. Like, are they friends?
Yeah.
Are they not friends?
You guys are clairvoyant. I don't know how you guess all of this, but it's pretty spot on.
Yep.
All right. So what was next? Did we get any good movies? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So next, I got to watch a popcorn butter on top that I missed a few weeks ago. Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
I thought it was a pleasant movie. Like I said, when you guys reviewed it, I don't understand any of the lore of it, and I have a hard time following, throughout the movie, the different names of the characters and what their race are. Is that what you would call it? Dungeons and Dragons? Their creed, their tribe,
they changed it
whatever,
recently to
whatever it is?
species. That's the new nomenclature.
That makes sense.
It's the same word.
It's hard. It's that aspect of it's a little hard for me to follow, not knowing anything about it. But like I said, I have respect for the D&D culture. There's a funny random cameo. One of my favorite scene from the movie is when they're going through the corpses with the little trinket thing. You're like, okay, you can ask them 5 questions.
Yeah. You know who those guys are? All the zombies were the Anti-Donna comedians from Anti-Donna's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's who they were. That's
very good. I didn't know that.
You still have 2 more questions.
Yeah.
Do I have to? I can't die unless you ask me 2 more questions.
Wait, what about the 5th question? I give it a popcorn and 2.
Okay, what do you think of the Fat Dragon?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's super funny.
I was dead.
I just heard about that. The Fat Dragon actually exists in the lore, from a while back.
Really?
And he's a fat dragon that all these dwarves use to light their fires, and they keep him fat so that they can keep him sedated.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's part of the lore that he's a big old fat dragon. It's pretty cool.
It's legitimately the funniest part of the movie to me. I was in tears laughing at that fat dragon, trying to fly and trying to run around.
That's a pudgy dragon.
Yeah. What was next, Jordan?
So I got to watching Air on Amazon Prime. The bit, you already reviewed this, so I'll keep this real succinct, but the bit between Matt Damon and Chris Tucker about where the Just Do It slogan came from.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the guy in front of the firing squad, and his final words are "Just do it."
Yeah.
And then Chris Tucker's like, you just want to get shit over with. He's like, you're a fat white guy who doesn't want to exercise. The perfect slogan.
Yeah.
It's an incredible cast, witty dialogue. The guy who's the designer, Peter Moore, his acting on it, I don't know that much about real life Peter Moore, but that character, his acting in it is fantastic. That is one of my favorite characters in the movie amongst all these star-studded,
designer
casting. Yeah, he was super odd, super funny. And I think you mentioned the speech that Matt Damon gives to Michael Jordan, his pitch to get him to pull him in, to reel it in, is iconic. It's one of the best sports speeches.
They'll lift you up so they can tear you down.
Yeah.
And then you will rise again. It was a great speech.
Yeah. I give it a popcorn and 3.
Yeah, I really hope they revisit. I really hope they revisit that movie come Oscar time. I really do. I hope it doesn't get left out. Ben Affleck, man, that guy can write and direct his ass off. Say what you want about his acting, but man, that guy can direct and write. He can just do it.
I think he's
Go ahead, Josh.
a good actor. He's not a great actor. He's had too many not great performances to say that he's a great actor, but he's good. And I would say almost the same for Matt Damon. Matt Damon's a couple steps above, but Ben Affleck can direct like a mother.
I gotta see his award-winning film. I've never seen
Argo.
Yeah, I've never seen
Armageddon.
And Good Will Hunting.
I've seen Armageddon.
He wrote Good Will Hunting. You've seen that?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
You haven't seen Good Will Hunting?
Buddy,
nope.
Put it on your list, dude.
Oh my god, it is on my list. I would have chose that one if I had known that curveball was coming right in my face.
Well, I'm writing it down.
Phrasing.
I can never pull the trigger on that one.
You gotta watch it, dude. It's cool.
Yeah, dude.
I'll be watching that for sure.
Yeah. So
That's
sorry,
a
Jordan.
verbal
Sorry.
abuse we
Our
just gave you.
conversation about air careened into why haven't you watched this?
Turned into a good scolding.
So what was the last one you saw this week?
I watched White Man Can't Jump, the reboot, or as
The
I
show?
like to
Okay,
call it,
or-
Whiter Men Still Can't Jump.
Whiter.
Which I mean, it doesn't really work anymore because a white man is the reigning slam dunk competition winner. So
Yeah, but he doesn't play. He still doesn't play.
I know. He plays for the Sixers on like third string, you know. He's just there to sell some tickets.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Sell a few jerseys.
Some kombucha.
This movie makes no attempt to appeal to fans of the original. It's just overly millennial, corny writing.
Yeah.
And this is where I differ from you on this. I said Jack Harlow is a decent actor. Not horrible, not good. He was like, okay, for this movie. I mean, it's a direct streaming Hulu reboot. Nobody in this movie really blows the doors off with their acting. The main guy that plays Sydney's version in this one, Wesley Snipes, he was okay. He was an okay actor. But everyone else, nobody's really blown you away. Rest in peace, Lance Riddick. Again. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the women were fine. The female actresses.
Oh, that girl is cute. The one that Jack Harlow's.
They carried the movie. Well, she's Spider-Man's love interest too in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
That's right.
Yeah.
She's also a former Klay Thompson love interest. Anybody wondering? Some Warriors facts out there.
She's in the the terrible Mike Tyson show on Disney Plus too. She plays the supermodel singer that Mike Tyson was married to.
Yeah, she's good. She's cute. Like her.
Yeah, she did a good job. She was a great actress in that movie. I thought her acting was fantastic, and I thought that actually I think she was upstaged by the other gentleman's wife.
Oh God, what's her name? Tiana Taylor.
Yeah, she was fantastic. I felt like she was actually believable in the role. I thought every scene she was in, she carried. That was my opinion.
Yeah. She's got the gravitas, if you will.
Mm-hmm. I hope they keep casting her. I think she's great. I really did like her acting in this movie. Every time she was on screen, I felt like it was an okay movie.
Okay. Shout out to her. The rival white guy basketball trainer in the beginning is such a tool. I'm like, oh my God, is this how people like trash? Is this like passive aggressive millennial trash talk? I was like, I hate it. That's when I was like, I'm in trouble. When I was watching the movie, I was like, this movie's gonna be awful.
In the late 90s, early 2000s, that would have been played by Jay Moore. 100%. That's how dickish he was.
Yeah, he's terrible. My favorite scene in the movie is they're playing, and the original, you remember the guy's like, I'm gonna come back with a gun and I'm shooting everybody.
Yeah.
They kind of changed that, and they're like, you better get out of here. He got a flamethrower.
That was
and kind of like my kind of street knowledge is like a flamethrower doesn't necessarily mean like a flamethrower. Like it could have just been like a machine gun, and they call it like, oh, he got the flamethrower on him. Like, no, he pulled out a actual flamethrower.
Yes.
And I was like, oh man, I was dying during that part. I give this, I'm teetering here. I still give it a popcorn. I got to give it a popcorn. I can't.
Just the one. Popcorn.
Yeah.
So because this was the only movie that I watched outside of the two, it's been a busy week. I will tell you, I wrote Disney Channel original movie gravitas. That's what I put. Like, it has all the gravitas of a Disney Channel original movie trying to appeal to the Black community. That's literally what I gathered from this.
The way you describe it. In a different year, it might have like gone quickly to the $5 DVD bin in Walmart. One of those kind of movies.
Yeah. And it was when Jordan says the writing, I just thought it was just gratuitous. Like, it was over the top. Like, this is how we think this community talks. And I was like, I don't agree. I think this is the Community cranked up by 60%. Like 60% more, because I grew up in like Hayward, Fremont, Oakland area, and sure, but this is it on 11, if you will.
Yeah.
For like it's like everything they did in this movie was for effect. Like, let's see if we can get effect. Let's see if we can get effect. Let's see, like, there's a scene where Jack Harlow's character's girlfriend ends up leaving him to try out something that she wants to pursue in her life, and it was so over the top. And then they go for the goofy moment where like he has to go back in and pick up something that he dropped on the ground to make it funny, and I was like, that's not even funny. That wasn't even funny.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's kind of exactly. So, and there's a couple moments in the movie for me where I'm like, okay, they're clearly going for funny here, and it's just not funny. Like one of the star athlete's friends literally is only in the movie to say dumb shit. Sorry, but it's...
Okay. I was Andrew Schultz, the gym guy, or you're talking about the other guy's friends?
Yeah, the other guy's friends.
Okay.
Like when he's eating Chinese food at the basketball tournament, I'm like, okay, so this guy serves no purpose. He's literally just, I make jokey jokes, and it was so bad. It was so bad. Here's the thing: this is going to be a new trend. I mean, we're going to see it. We're seeing it with like Harry Styles. We're seeing it with now. We saw it with Blake Griffin. We are seeing them try to shove people with high Q ratings at certain times into movies, YouTube stars, rappers, and it's not working out. I would say it's 1 for 10. Like 10% of the time, you're like, dang, that person can act. Outside of that, it's been rough. It's been rough. I gave it a popcorn as well. That was mine. Josh, what were you watching this week?
I watched The A-Team with, Rampage Johnson and Liam Neeson's Bradley Coops and the guy from District 9.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot they were all in it. So that was a nice, like, oh yeah, like, okay. It's a ridiculous movie. I give it a popcorn and maybe a 1. I don't know, maybe a 1. Popcorn and 1 beer, maybe. Okay. I don't know. Really intense action, over the top stuff. Like they parachute a tank in one of the finale scenes. They're in a tank on a parachute and they survive by shooting the cannon into the ground. Like it's a cartoon. Much like perhaps our Butter on Top. But it was, I don't know, it was fun to watch, kind of forced, where like they're all like good buddies, A-Team style, right? And they're always laughing about all these inside jokes, and like almost every scene ends with them all laughing, like, we really got him, right, boys? This is like just like back in South Africa. And the guy's got the cigar. And it's one of those where it's kind of like a lonely old man movie where like you watch that movie. Yeah. And they're around the campfire. I'm not getting back on that plane. Yes. So it's a lonely old man movie where like you just miss your friends, and this is a movie that makes you feel like you have friends for an hour and a half or whatever. However, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's just like a big old episode of the A-Team from the 70s. Whatever. Popcorn and 1, I guess. Maybe. You scooched in there. And then I watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Just catching up with you guys. Butter. Yeah, last week's butter. I liked that movie. All the whining complainos that have a problem with Phase 4, this movie is on level with, Phase 3, like you love so much, like Endgame and stuff. Not that you can really top Endgame. I think that shouldn't even be in the discussion, but Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is the MCU that people maybe have been missing. It was great. Yeah. They had these characters. They fleshed them out so well. They tied everything up with so many pretty little bows. They have this super molasses honey sweet ending, but that's a nice contrast to the terrible, awful animal cruelty throughout the movie.
You kind of needed that ending.
You better have a good ending. Like, not just a good ending. It was a really great, kind of like maybe get a little misty-eyed sometimes. It was great. CG was pretty good. I like how they once again managed to flesh out the galaxy even more so. Like it's They just do so much world building that everyone pulls from. That's why Endgame was so good, because of Guardians of the Galaxy work. Now I'm rambling. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was great. The villain was fantastic. My prediction is I don't think he's gone. I think he's going to be around in at least one more movie somewhere.
Like he downloaded his brain into a hard drive somewhere or something?
No, he didn't necessarily die. We didn't see him die.
That's been done in Winter Soldier.
Pretty big
Right?
explosion.
Didn't the Nazi doctor
Who said he was on the plane?
Yeah.
Anyway, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't even a plane. The plane? I give Guardians of the Galaxy 3 a popcorn and 3. It's one of the best trilogy, third movies, like tie up for a trilogy movie. The whole trilogy as a whole, maybe the best trilogy in the MCU. I'd say so.
It's right up there. Each movie is good. Like, maybe they're not all reaching the status of great, but each movie was really good.
Really good.
And I agreed with you. I think, Jordan, did you give it a pop in 3 as well?
I think so, yeah.
It was just a good movie, man. And here's the thing. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's got I don't know where these critics from the woodworks are coming with the negativity or these fans, because on the site, it's got like a 95% audience score and an 85% critic score. So you're just the jerks that have to say something negative at this point. It was a good movie, man.
My only real negative is just comic nerd stuff. Drax the Destroyer never really got to destroy anything. Like, I'd say his biggest scene was in part 2 when he's being dragged through the trees and he's laughing about it. I think that was the most badass Drax ever was. Remember when he's like hanging off the back of the spaceship and he's like banging in the trees?
I think in this one they give them all their moment, though. When they get in the tunnel with like all of the henchmen. Yeah, where he pulls out the daggers and he starts going to town.
Yeah. I mean, it's really cool.
Like, they all have their hey.
Drax is like almost on par with the Hulk as far as strength in the comics. He's faced up against Silver Surfer, and they make him mostly just a goofball. He gets his moments of cool, badass stuff, but I was just let down that he never got to really destroy, Anyway.
But that's what we get with the Hulk, too, That's what we get with the Hulk, too. Like, you and I have lamented that for a long time. Like, why don't they ever just let the Hulk go crazy in a scene so we can all, see? But they never do, except for maybe that scene in Avengers 1 where Captain America tells him to smash. And they don't even really show him going crazy. They're like, we want to see the Hulk go nuts. The audience wants to see the Hulk go nuts. Stop with the Mark Ruffalo, I have a soul, and just go crazy.
Yeah, that's what my problem is. If they want to do that smart Hulk like they're doing now, that's fine. That doesn't mean Hulk is gone, though. Why can't he tap into that battle prowess in any way? It's like he doesn't even know how to fight anymore.
I mean, and when we're talking about tapping into prowess, let's talk about the ability of Ashton Kutcher and Sean to tap into the prowess of being idiots. Jordan, this was your drunk classic. Dude, Where's My Car? So talk to me about it.
Yeah, the stoner comedy. It never really occurred to me that Julia Gardner was one of the girlfriends. And
Jennifer
Garner.
Is that what I said? Oh, I said Julia Gardner. Yeah,
Jennifer.
Yes. My apologies. Jennifer Garner was one of the is this like it had to be like one of her first roles? No,
one of the twins.
One of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, whoa.
It had to be. Yeah.
The iconic Chinese food drive-through box scene, and then
that is classic.
That was like, I thought that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen when I was a kid. What really dated this movie is how they have a suitcase full of money and are like super excited, like, dude, we got cell phones, and they're like those crappy little Nokia, like no screen.
I thought you were gonna say what really dated the movie was $200,000 and the crazy stuff that they were able to buy, and I was I'm sorry, after the Mercedes, you're done. Yeah. Like, that's it.
Yeah. So when I saw this movie, I was like, I don't know, 6. It came out in 2000.
I believe that.
Yeah. And it's probably why I'm nostalgic about it, because when I watch it, I was like, wow, this movie is really stupid. But when I saw that, I remember watching that scene where they do the bust a move music video scene.
Yeah. With the shampoo or the suntan lotion.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. I was like, these are the coolest guys I've ever seen. Like, oh my god, you guys are living the life. And then the very next scene, they're making out with each other to impress Fabio.
Yeah,
I was like, nah, these guys aren't the coolest guys.
I was impressed by that move. I was impressed by that.
They didn't give in. They didn't lose.
Way ahead of its time.
Yes.
Yes. And that's what I said.
But way behind its time in a lot of other ways.
That's what I'm saying. Like, as much as this movie isn't PC, it was actually. I wrote this in my notes. It's really progressive for its time. For its
really
time.
Progressive, huh?
There's some.
We'll get to mine.
I feel like Andy Dick, as much of a weirdo as he is, he really stole the movie with like his very short part, just by being a really, really good weirdo, like just being himself. I think you're trying to say honorable, honorable.
Honorable.
Yeah.
Honorable.
Honorable. And the dog, the pot smoking dog. Get your pipe, Jackal.
That part still got me. Jackal still got me.
Jackal's the best.
It was not a lot still got me, but Jackal got me again. I missed Jackal.
It's just a nostalgic movie. If you're not, if you watch it now and you're not really from that time, you won't get it. You'll be like, wow, this is really dumb. But hey, it's my childhood. I give it a popcorn.
You know what, Jordan? It's
very
totally
enjoyable
shimmy.
Popcorn. Yeah,
it's totally shimmy.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Mr. Jesse and Mr. Chester and Zoltan. With this, I put sophomoric humor.
Yeah.
From the roof pizza on to the boob humor, it was sophomoric humor, and I put, how many phobias and isms can you fit into one movie? As I was watching it, I was like, wow, we've got crazy isms when it comes to the Asia Pacific community. A lot. We've got many more if you follow this story. We've got some misogyny. We've got transphobia, homophobia. Yes. Ashton Kutcher, his reaction to the trans stripper was totally a transphobic reaction meant for humor. I'm sure if we asked the trans community, they would highlight that scene and be like, yes, this is what we're fighting against, the portrayal of trans people. Like, we didn't like this.
And besides Ashton's portrayal, it was the actor's portrayal.
Yeah.
Like, I'm transsexual, okay, and then just instantly shows the junk. Like,
the weird,
is that the action you would take?
Yeah.
So with that, yes, every phobia, every ism, but it is nostalgic for me too. So like, I hate to say it, like, I did laugh at a lot of the stuff. I know I shouldn't have. I can't help it, audience. When they say why, I'll tell them that I'm only human. All right, but when it came to the movie, I said, what is this, the longest day ever? Because the day went forever. Yeah. And I'm like, that's like 3 hours, just that in Los Angeles. Like, just that happened is 3 hours. And then when they get to the arcade at the end, and they do that for no reason at all. Like, what is happening? I Know Your Body reminded me, because we used that in high school and middle school. Yeah. We did that in high school and middle school a lot. I'm ashamed to say I still do that on our Memorial Day get-togethers. I'll be like, I know your body. And it stems from that movie. And my last thing was, I put, did this birth the Hangover movie? Like, is this movie, did some young kid watching this movie was like, you know what, I can do this better. And then they wrote The Hangover. That's my curiosity. Is like, is this the birthplace of The Hangover? Outside of that, it is a nostalgic play for me. It's definitely just a popcorn. It's not a good movie.
No.
It's not a good movie, but it made me laugh. I hate to say it did make me laugh. The jocks out in public,
Yeah.
like the random hot girl, just like, "Do you remember now?"
Yeah.
Like that's just a fantasy. That
And then
never happens, boys and girls.
And then I said, "Later, dude."
Stoner bashing time. The bubble wrap, the fire extinguisher in the barn.
Oh man,
all of
there's
it.
so many stupid funny scenes though. It's just like you can't help but laugh at just how dumb some of the stuff is.
All right.
Yeah.
So Josh, what was your take?
Oh well, when you said the longest day ever or whatever, I was reminded instantly of you guys ever seen Hubie Halloween, the Adam Sandler's?
Yes.
I
Remember
love
how, like,
that movie.
It's a good movie. It's good.
I love that movie. That's like one of my favorite Halloween movies to watch. I love that movie.
It's so bad and so good.
Yeah.
But
I guess it's like, you know what? Like I rival you because I love The Wrong Missy. But anyway, sorry.
I love that too. It's a good movie.
But
sorry.
yeah, so I was just reminded of that because it was like Halloween night and it stayed like 7:00 p.m. for like 8 hours. You know what I mean? Like there was so many. He went to the drive-in. He went to the graveyard. He went this way, that way. So many different places. Anyway,
yeah.
Back to Dude Car. I'm gonna say that I'm offended that you used this platform to make me watch that movie. Is what I'm saying. There's a list of stoner stupid children movies, and it's like Adam Sandler stuff, How High, and Half Baked, and that's it.
Pineapple Express. Pineapple Express.
Yeah, but I say that's slightly above stoner comedy because Pineapple Express actually had a plot. It was an action movie as well. I'm saying like stupid, dumb, stupid, hijinks, stupid movies. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
It wasn't that bad, but it was just effing awful, dude. I'd never seen it before. I knew what it was going to be going in. No, I had never seen it before. I just heard so much about it, like Zoltan, like I said before, and I've seen the Chinese food sketch or scene. It was interesting to see Ashton Kutcher like not a billionaire and just some stupid kid fresh off a 70s show. And it was weird plot wise. There's so many things you could do with the plot, but instantly I was like interested because they're 20-something looking people, maybe playing 19, and they're with their girlfriends on their anniversary, I'm assuming 1 year, and they haven't had sex with them yet. I don't understand what's happening. But let's not get into that, because then we're talking about the female lead's like character they had to play for a paycheck, and etc. I'm sure the show was fun to play. I'm sure they had fun making the movie, and that's usually what the best you can say about any of these movies. I understand why you picked it. Don't do something like that again. I'm just kidding. It's like you said, you have attachment to it, and put yourself in the moment.
Off of Fastx.
I understand the attachment, and it wasn't like it was like horrible movie. It was just a stupid movie, And
I mean, imagine you're a 6-year-old boy. This movie would be the greatest thing you've ever seen.
Exactly. I totally, when they do like for no reason impromptu music video in the middle of the movie. Yeah. I mean, if you're sick, like just like Billy Madison, like it's a bad movie, but when you're a kid, it's incredible. Yeah. Anyway, I give it popcorn kernels, dude. That's what I give it.
Well, we'll go from popcorn kernels to eating popcorn at the movies. For our butter on top, we saw Fastx. Josh got to the movie, saw Guardians 3. He's got to pick and choose what he can get to right now, and that's okay, right? He's getting them in. But Jordan, you and I went and saw Fastx.
Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Look, I don't mind Jason Momoa. Sometimes I like Jason Momoa. But his character and his casting as this character was awful. Like there have been some really dumb things in the Fast and the Furious franchises, but oh man, I was like from like the very first scene, he sails the movie right over right over the cliff. There's another. I'm a fan of these. I always point them out. A good unexpected cameo, a little comedic, super unnecessary cameo in there, just to probably pull some more audience that might not otherwise. They might hear about this and go, "Oh, okay,"
Martin Short.
No, I don't know if I want to spoil it, but
I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest.
Really? Oh, the Pete Davidson. It's like,
why
is he in this movie? Why did he need to be in this movie?
Yeah.
He's so ugly. You can keep that in.
You could keep that in.
Who knows?
The opening action sequence in Rome, the flaming bomb going through the city. I was instantly like, man, this had to be inspired by the game Rocket League. I'm a big fan of. I love me some Rocket League.
I put giant.
I love Rocket League.
Giant pinball. I said they're playing giant pinball because of how they had to move it with the cars.
Well, yeah, that's Rocket League. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
I thought the best fight scene of the whole thing was Michelle Rodriguez and Charlize.
Yeah, of course.
Like, man, Charlize was tearing it up, man. They were moving good. Some good action there.
They're both obviously they had stunt doubles, of course. I sure hope so. But they're both like really good action stars. Well,
they didn't do like the typical female moves in this action sequence. Like, you know how they typically have the females like jumping up and down and running around. No, this one they were like power bombing each other and stuff. I was like, okay. Snap. Like flying knees. Like they got to fight the way that the men's choreography usually goes.
Okay. I've watching this franchise, the 10th movie in, I've completely lost track of who's alive, who's dead, who's related, who's hooking up with who. Mm-hmm. I'm like, are they still pretending that Paul Walker, rest in peace, Paul Walker's character is still alive or not? Or where is he?
I was like, what's happening?
Yeah. There's another franchise that's like this. I can't think of, but it's like nobody's really dead until you actually see them like at their, like, not even a funeral is good enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how
like they have to be decapitated like Highlander.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, it's like the Halloween MCU you're thinking of.
It's like the Halloween finale where they have to put Michael Myers through a meat grinder to know that he's actually gone. The little kid flying through the air. No! And the kid just Superman's from one car to the next.
I audibly laughed in the theater when that happened. And everyone looked at me and I was like, come on.
The whole theater groaned when that scene was like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, the theater was packed for this movie.
Really?
Absolutely packed. I was shocked about that one, honestly. I did go to a primetime screening, but from what I saw for a Fast and the Furious movie, it didn't seem like this movie was doing that great on its, financial projections and whatnot, as, relative to other Fast and the Furious movies. But so it was a good communal experience in there. It's become kind of a American, I guess it's just American culture driven, but it's just, the movie is so worldly, you know what I mean? Because they're going to Rio and
I wrote down, it's the new cheese. It's the new American cheesy action film.
Yeah.
Cheese. Yep.
Vin Diesel is so corny. I don't know if he realizes, like, he's...
No,
like,
he doesn't.
Like,
he thinks he's an amazing actor, dude. He thinks he's the best actor ever.
He doesn't know that we're laughing kind of at him and not really, like, with him. But he's not laughing is the thing, so I don't know.
No, he thinks he's going to win an Oscar.
It's fantastic action, though. Just if you just take it for what it is, just action, just gratuitous explosions, ridiculous things that just can't possibly happen in real life. Just cool stunts. If that's what you're in for, then hey, you give it a popcorn and a beer if you can appreciate it for what it is.
I put, in a world where physics, chemistry, and structural integrity mean nothing, this is where Fast and the Furious resides. Lighting NOS, or setting up your NOS in the middle of a fireball explosion and it just working with no explosions. What? You're surrounded by fire, but the NOS is unaffected. And the physics of driving down a dam and everything else that occurs in the movie, like swinging helicopters around, it was ridiculous. Vin Diesel at certain points in the movie becomes MacGyver for some reason. I don't know why or where he became MacGyver. It was like Jordan. He just, I turned a paperclip into a NOS! I'm just like, what is happening? Where did you get it from? And like Jordan said, as far as the characters, I was like, I don't remember anything, I guess. Because I'm trying to remember where they came in and where they came from. Like who died, who didn't die, how the dead people got saved and became undead, like all of it. Did you notice the DeLorean at the beginning?
No.
Charlize Theron, when she shows up at Vin Diesel's house, is driving a DeLorean.
Really?
That's cool.
Yes, and it's a new DeLorean. And read the front when you see it, Josh. Read the front of the car she's driving. It's a DeLorean. Because I looked at it really close, because when you first see the flash, I was like, does that say DeLorean? And I'm not paying attention to her or her blood. I'm just like, that's a DeLorean. It was real cool. It made me regret, nothing against Yingling, our unofficial sponsor, but it made me regret not having Coronas for this. It made me dislike John Cena.
Really?
It was so corny.
It is.
It's so
John Cena's
corny.
in it?
No, I love John Cena.
He was in the last. He got introduced as his brother, which is
the last
if
one.
you could believe that. They're supposed to be John Cena is supposed to be Vin Diesel's little brother.
I love in the best fight scene that Jordan referenced also, they tell you exactly how long this scene is gonna last.
Yeah.
In the fight scene, they say, literally, I'm not joking, Josh. In the scene, they say, this is how long this fight will happen for. And then they proceed to fight. And I timed it for that amount of time. And I was like, okay, all right. It's a little bit shorter than they said.
Clock, or they just set it at like, I'm going to beat you up in 5 minutes.
They say it out loud. And it's such bad writing. Michelle Rodriguez looks at Charlize Theron and says a line to her. Charlize Theron, pardon me, gives her a time, and then they fight. That's the scene.
Like Equalizer style.
Yes.
Watch.
Yeah.
I thought the CG was absolutely terrible. I thought it was 90s CG. When they're driving through Rome, they should have just blacked out the windows in the cars, because the outside buildings look like a 50s. And it's all like they're somebody cranking Rome behind them.
Yeah.
Yes, that's how it looked. And all I could picture was a guy just cranking, so the scenery just stayed the same behind him.
Cranking it, huh?
It was so
Somebody
terrible.
there behind the curtains just cranking it.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what was happening. And his name was Vin Diesel. What? Who said that?
The cars. Family.
But also. Best actor in the world. But there's also the last thing I'm going to say is it was the goofiest beginning to a Fast and the Furious ever. Because, it's the badass car drifting around, doing its thing, and you're like, oh, it's definitely Dominic. How cool. Callback to when Brian was doing it at the beginning of Fast and the Furious 1. In the same exact parking lot, drifting the car around. And then it stops, and you're like, Dominic's going to get out of the car. Nope, it's his kid. And his kid is this big.
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
On a stack of books? Like,
with long planks on the pedal. I don't know. Yeah, like you said. Go ahead.
Oh, how many times can they reference in the movie as like a dig? Like, oh, you can't solve all your problems with a barbecue and a Corona. Like, the movie is so self-aware now of like how people make fun of the movie that he's like, Vin Diesel, I guess, he doesn't like have like a humility about it. to where he's
Yeah.
trying to make it like actually like I know you guys make fun of this, but I don't care.
I heard everything you said.
It's like you're talking about Jack Reacher, the actor that plays Jack Reacher that's in it.
Yeah,
And he does he can't win me over. I don't even like barbecues.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, what? It was so rough. And it was 80s cheese to me. I give it a popcorn and a beer again. The action is the action. I didn't mind Jason Momoa as much as Jordan did. I thought in certain points, especially when you get his file and it's like, yeah, he's an insane person.
He's a psycho, yeah.
Yeah, he's a psychopath. Like, you start to get it a lot. You get shades of the villain from Die Hard 2, right? Simon Says. You get shades of
physically big and intimidating looking of a guy
to be that goofy,
like this, like goofy, whimsical, like lunatic guy. You know what I mean?
So yeah, I mean, like a popcorn and a beer. But anyway, speaking of whimsical, Jordan, that was the perfect describing word to use as we fold into the sea when it comes to our butter on top for next week, which will be The Little Mermaid. I'm excited to give a great review and make a lot of prudes and other people angry because I think it looks fantastic. I think it's going to be a really good film. And for you guys, we're going all the way back to 1985 for the Drunk Classic. And we are going to watch, in the spirit of Black Dynamite and Kung Fu, we're going to watch The Last Dragon.
Ooh. Excellent. I haven't seen that either.
We're going to watch The Last Dragon.
It's probably
you're going to get to learn about
TiVo.
Yeah, you'll find it for sure. YouTube. You're going to watch, you're going to get to learn who Shonuff is and who Bruce Leroy is.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get to annoy your households with the glow, baby. All right. Well, we appreciate you guys coming back every week. I know that this episode was interesting because of Fastx. I'm sure it'll really take off, and I'm very excited about next week. I'm very excited about everything we've been able to do with the show. We look forward to seeing you at the movies. Jordan, where can they reach us?
At Popcorn and Beers. At Popcorn and Beer.
Find us there, and I swear to you, very, very soon, I'm going to make him do it. We'll be on Spotify. We'll be on Apple Music. We'll be on Amazon Music, and we will meet you guys there. Thank you so much, and we will see you at the movies.
Bye.